Hello everyone. Today we understand the difference between SQL and NoSQL. Uh, so starting with SQL, SQL is a structured data where it has tables, columns and rows. You have to define everything in the beginning only. That's why it has a fixed schema. Okay, it has a strong consistency. It supports ACID properties. ACID, the full form of ACID is atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. This is very important and is readily available in SQL. So we use that. And the example of databases using SQL are MySQL, Postgres, there and many more. SQL is mostly used for banking system where we need a consistency. Okay. And going to NoSQL, NoSQL it is a flexible data set and it's a simple key value. It can be a simple key value pair stored in the JSON format. Okay. Other than that, there is no fixed schema for this. Uh, there is no restriction on what data set will be inserted or is available for a particular table. That makes it very helpful, and that makes it helpful for scaling it horizontally. Examples of NoSQL are MongoDB, CouchDB. NoSQL are majorly used in social media apps. Yeah, so I'll give you example of how it works in MySQL and in Postgres and in MongoDB. So for SQL example, I'll just refer to a Postgres database. So syntax are similar to different may change with different database. So you can refer that their official documentation. Here I am creating a single database in Postgres. Create database employees. This will create a database. So in SQL there is a structure. First you have to create a database. Then that database will have a table. Then table will have a columns and columns will have rows. Rows are nothing but your actual data set. Okay, so and this is a schema that we have to define in the beginning only, that a particular table user will have these particular properties. For example, the employee ID, first name, last name, department, salary, hire date. This is up to you. This is a sample data just that I have just used for demo purpose. You can change it accordingly. You can add as many rows, columns in your schema. It's up to you. There is no restriction on that. So this is first you have to declare as a schema. Then once the schema is declared, then only we'll be able to insert the records in that particular table. So for your example, I have created a table called app users. So and this is how we have to insert the data. So you have to match all the columns. For example, here we have uh, 1 2 3 4 5 6 columns. ID is the primary key, and it will be auto generated. So since we have written serial, so it will be automatic generated by 1 2 3 4. You don't have to add it manually because you never know what is the next ID in the database, so you don't have to pass that while inserting into the table. So here we passed from whatever fields that those are user related, we pass those fields. For example, you first name, last name, department, salary, hire rate, all these are related to user, so we pass them manually in the insert queries. Yeah, I'll just show you in the database. So I'm using Postgres as a example. So this is a DB viewer. This is a tool to check the data in the database. So this is a table app users that we have created inside the database called employees. Okay, and this is the schema. So these are the columns. So we have structure called tables, columns and rows. So these are columns: employee ID, first name, last name, department, salary, hire date. And these are the rows. First row is Alice data, second row has Bob's data, third row has Charlie, and so on. So this is called, rows are nothing but the actual data set and columns are nothing but properties. Okay, so in SQL we have a strict schema. We have to follow the schema very strictly. For example, while create just a minute, when creating other table, you have declared this first name as varchar. Varchar as 50. If this exceed more than 50, then it will give a database validation error. That record won't be inserted in the table. So this is how it is restricted for. And for salary you have given numeric, so then salary value should be a numeric. If I give it as inside a double quote, it will treat it as a string and it will not get inserted. So it is very strict with what data type you are defining, and the data should be inserted in that format only. On the other hand, NoSQL is very flexible. It does not care what type of data you are inserting. Its job is to just dump the data, and for when you are fetching, you have to just it has to just provide the data outside to the user. So here first you have to use employees. This is how you create a database in the MongoDB. I am referring MongoDB as an example. Then here they called it in SQL they call it as a row, but in NoSQL they call it as a document. Okay, and on top of that we have a collection. A collection is nothing but a table name. So table name in NoSQL and collection in NoSQL. So users is a collection, db.user insert one. This is how you insert into the NoSQL database. So here you have given name, age, New York as a city. Just remember that here we are not defining any schema, like how in SQL we define this schema, that this for app users will have this particular data for format of the data. But here no, there is no such thing as called as schema. Whatever is the data we can dump it. This is how we insert one record. To insert multiple records we use this insert many as their function, as their method. There you can pass the data Bob, age and name Charlie. So here you see I am passing a different data set. For example, Bob, name is Bob and age I am passing. Second document is name as Charlie, city is Mumbai. There is no property called age, but it will not throw an error. It will get inserted. You see, this is how it will be shown in the database. Like ID will be auto generated. Here you have option. You can generate a unique ID, UUID, or you can keep it as a serial only. This is handled by MongoDB. You can make the configuration changes, and that will automatically generate this ID. So here this is the age of the Bob, and here you don't see the city. Similarly for the document Charlie, there is no age property, we are directly city, and this is how we use to fetch the data from the DB. So if you want flexibility in your DB, like you want to just dump the data no matter what, all the properties in the document are similar to other documents or not, so in that case you should use NoSQL database. And if you want to the data to be in the structured format and to maintain a consistency of the data, then you should go for SQL. There is no right or wrong answer while choosing a database. It's completely depend on the on your use case. Yeah, okay, thank you.